Afternoon, everyone. We will be waiting for a few more minutes for more participants to join our session today. And we will start our event at 2 p.m. sharp. The attendance link will be provided in the chat box at the end of the event. And please be sure to mute your mics to avoid any interruption. You are also encouraged to open your camera for more interaction with us. Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good afternoon to all. My name is Nurul Najiha and I will be your MC for today's event. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 5th in Artificial Intelligence Talk organized by BIOMEHS Club UTM in collaboration with Yayasan Pelajaran Johor and Engineering Technology Club, University Tun Hussein on Malaysia. On behalf of the committee, I would like to express my warm welcome to all of you for joining our event today. To bless our event, I would like to invite Mr. Amir Firdaus bin Ahmad Zaili to recite the prayer.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirrabbilalamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil mursalin wa ala alihi washabihi ajmain. Ya Allah, Engkau yang mempunyai segala kepujian, Engkaulah yang berhak menerima segala kepujian, Engkaulah yang berhak menerima segala kesyukuran, Engkaulah yang memiliki segala pemerintahan. Di tangan Engkau segala kebajikan, kepada Engkaulah kembali segala urusan. Ya Dzal wal Ikram, cucilah rahmat dan rahimmu ke atas majlis Python in Artificial Intelligence yang dijadikan pada hari ini. Berkatilah ia dari awal hingga akhir. Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Kami juga memohon perlindungan daripadamu dari segala perkara yang boleh mencacat celakan majlis kami dan daripada segala perkara yang melalaikan kami dari berbuat taat kepadamu. Kepadamu jua kami berserah segala urusan kami. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wasallam. Walhamdulillahirabbil alamin.
Amin, amin ya rabbal alamin. Thank you, Mr. Amir Fidaus, for leading the prayer. Next, before we start our event, I would like to remind all of you, please be sure to mute your microphone to prevent causing any interruption during the ongoing session. If you have any questions throughout the event, feel free to drop your questions in the chat box. We will collect and convey your questions to the speaker during the Q&A sessions later. The attendance link for UTM and UTHM students will be given at the end of the program. So be sure to stay with us until the end. Now, let me share a little bit of background about our speaker today, Dr. Nicholas. So, Dr. Nicholas Anting is a certified trainer and data scientist that is currently appointed as consultant by the Ministry of Education Malaysia. He also conducts training and coaching in the field of data science and digital technology. In academics, Dr. Nicholas graduated with a Bachelor and PhD of Civil Engineering from University Technology Malaysia UTM, and currently he is a researcher and a lecturer in the field of Structural Engineering and Computer Programming using Python under Faculty of Civil and Environmental Engineering at University Tun Hussein on Malaysia. All right, without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Nicholas to start the session. Welcome, Dr. Nicholas. The virtual stage is yours.
Hi, good day. Good day to everyone. Let me check my voice. Can you hear my voice, MC? Hello, can ya? Okay. All right, so let me share my slide and let me know if you can see, yeah? Okay, all right. Okay, everyone can see my slide there? Can ya? Okay, so thank you very much for having this event and appoint me as the speaker today. So I really appreciate this session. And if I'm not mistaken, okay, there are two universities that combined together for this event, correct? UTM and UTHM, right? So I always serve both of these universities lah. Okay, because previously I'm also a UTM student, but when I'm work, I work at UTHM. So thank you very much, okay, Patin, for communicating with me to make this event become more to make this event become a reality for today's afternoon lah. Okay, so maybe I believe that how many participants that we have today? I think more than 100, I believe. Okay, how many of us?
Expected to be around 300.
300, yeah. So all of them are students, or some of them might be working adult, right? Right.
Yeah, some of them are working.
Okay, so maybe in the chat box there, if you know me somewhere, maybe you are UTM student or UTM student, please introduce yourself in the chat box. Okay, maybe someone, some of you maybe attend my courses previously before, so you can chat there and let me take a look, yeah? All right, so thank you very much once again. Okay, so my name is Dr. Nicholas, as been mentioned by the MC just now. Okay, I'm graduated in UTHM. My PhD and undergraduate is from UTM. Sorry. So and currently I'm a researcher and lecturer at UTHM. Okay, since 2015. Okay, and I teach structural engineering subjects in civil engineering faculty, and also develop a new course. We call it data science application. Okay, under Faculty of Civil Engineering also, and I teach computer programming. So most of my research is related with computation programming. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, currently I have two books. Okay, if you interested to purchase, you can communicate with me. Later I give you a link for you to communicate with me. Okay, so these two books is I published during the pandemics. Okay, during the pandemics, because okay, most of us work from home, so we can spend more time for me to I can spend more time to complete my books at that time. Okay, so my research, since I'm doing my PhD, since I'm doing my undergraduate works, yeah. So I focus on computational kind of things, yeah. So in my undergraduate, I developed a small small scale of software to analyze the deformation or what we call as deflection of the flat surface. Okay, a 3D modeling using a finite element method. Then I use MATLAB to develop that program. Okay, by the way, the MATLAB is you have to pay if you want to use that. So today we are going to learn, we are going to explore, not basically I teach you step by step to do the programming, but I will show you, okay, how good, how powerful is Python, why Python is one of the powerful programming language, yeah, nowadays. Okay, I'm not talking about software development, I'm not talking about apps development, but I'm talking about data processing, artificial intelligence, okay, machine learning and deep learning. Okay, so hopefully I believe we are from a multiple background here, engineering, yeah, biomedical, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, and I introduce you one of the software at the end of the session later. One of the software that been designed, developed by a biomedical staff, okay, which is popularly used, and I always use that, okay, because some of people, they are not prone to programming, so they find other alternatives to do their analytics work. Yeah. Okay, so I would like to start with data. Okay, because the reason I'm giving a talk because of the data. That's the reason we learn programming. That's the reason that I apply programming in my works. Okay, since during my research study. Okay, because as an engineer, we always communicating. We always working with data. Okay, even if you are doing your undergraduate works, also basically you are capturing data, you are measuring data, you are collecting data. Then after you have data, then you analyze that data. Okay. So nowadays we see that data, okay, if you go to the internet, okay, since the pandemic, okay, since the pandemic, people always talk about digital technology, the utilization of digital technology. For example, the way we are communicating right now, okay. Last time, if you want to make an event, okay, like this, okay, so you only can do it at local level, means that in UTM, so the participant only come from UTM, okay, and I have to travel there, okay, it incur cost for me and even incur cost for you because you have to rent a space maybe, okay, and then you have to switch on all these electric appliance, the aircon, yeah, everything. So that's the thing. So due to that digital technology, okay, we are making things near to us. Okay, we make things possible. Okay, the things that impossible before become possible. Okay, so in order to get into digital technology, so I would like to talk about the data at first. Okay, so last time, when you own oil, you own power. And this is what happened. And even now, if you have oil reservoir in your land, for example, you are rich, you have power. Okay, but in order that's the things happen in second industrial revolution. Second industrial revolution. Okay, so the raw oil, but what happened to the raw oil? You have to get it, right? You have to mine it, okay, and then you have to process it. Okay, after that you only can turn it into a product. Okay, a product that can be used for the vehicle, for the, you want to sell it as a crude oil. Yeah, so this kind of technology or invention has become a catalyst of new innovation. For example, because of we have oil, then we have a car that can move by the oil, correct? Okay, and also it create a new job specialist. Okay, we call it data scientist nowadays. Okay, the data professional. Okay, so we engage with data scientists. Okay, to do this kind of if you are dealing with data. If you oil, of course, you have petroleum engineers to do that. Okay, so now data is become a new oil. Okay, so if you rajin sikit, if you take some effort, okay, find some sort of what is data science. So people always talk about data is the new oil. Okay, the reason is why, okay, in fourth industrial revolution, okay, we utilize a lot of digital technology. For example, the one that we have right now, okay, using a WebEx. Yeah. So when we use a WebEx, okay, it share a lot of information. Okay, how long that this program will be longer. Okay, the behavior of every participant here. Siapa yang keluar masuk, okay, how fast, paling cepat keluar, okay, all these representing how good the quality of the event. Okay, itu data yang boleh collected by the WebEx. Okay, so this kind of raw data, for example, you post something in Facebook, or we have some issue. Okay, for example, contoh isu apa ya? Contoh ada something happen that okay, for example, election, for example, okay. All right, so when there is a matter of election, people will throw their opinion. What happened into the election? What's their opinion about the election? Okay, ataupun new song release, okay, in the YouTube. So people comment, if people like, okay, that give them a data to measure the quality of that particular product, particular digital products that they produce. Okay, so if they want to analyze that, okay, this kind of raw data, if we don't analyze, it's become something yang tak boleh pakai lah, macam minyak tadi. Okay, if you are not processing that oil, so it's not being used, right? Same also with data. Okay, if you see here, the data that we have is raw data. So undergone a proper processing technique, okay, modeling, treatment, so you're able to use it in other applications. Okay, for example, when you're browsing the Amazon website and you're purchasing something, Shopee, for example, Shopee, okay, so if you browse some sort of other products in that Shopee, so it understands what you maybe want to purchase. So they will share with you some sort of other product they recommend to you. Okay, if you are looking for a smartphone, then they will give you a suggestion to buy a smartphone, something that related. Dia punya casing, for example, right? Okay, so these kind of things are what we call as a product recommendation system. Okay, the one that we are going to see later how it works. Okay. So because of this, okay, because we have to process the data, previously people that work with this, we call as statistician. Okay, nowadays, because we move into a digital data, sometimes there are a lot of discussion about data scientists punya role. I believe you guys heard about this before. Okay, people say, okay, you don't have specific degree to become data scientist. For me, I have a different opinion on that. Okay, actually, the data scientists nowadays, they are someone, we have to call them as a digital scientist. So digital scientists, they focus on digital data. For example, data that been produced when you posting something in the Facebook. Okay, your data that been captured by the Shopee. Okay, the trend, how do you purchasing something in the store? Okay, that's to be specific. Okay, so because of the data, it become catalyst a new innovation. For example, Grab. Having a lot of data make them able to create a new kind of AI products. Okay, artificial intelligence product. Okay, the Facebook, for example. You see, you use free Facebook, right? I use Facebook for free. So how they make money? They make money because of the advertising. So how they make money through advertising? Because they have our profile. They have our behavior. They have our interest. What kind of ads that we might like to look. Itu adalah dia punya intelligence product. People always see, oh, I see, I like to post a video. Actually, video is kind of products that you share. Actually, nowadays, there is another one. Before I forget, there is another one trend. Maybe you can explore the NFT. That is a kind of digital art that you can claim as your own and even can make you good money from that. Okay, I'm still exploring on that. I'm not really, I'm not really go deeper yet, but that is a kind of blockchain technology to make a digital product become valuable. Kalau dulu benda yang valuable adalah, for example, the drawing, right? Okay, lukisan kan. Some drawing that can be up to 1 million, more than that even. Yeah, the artifacts, that is the product, that the physical product that has a value. So now they turn it into NFT. We call it NFT. Okay, the digital product. For example, who was the first person that posts in the Twitter? If people want to buy that digital product, they can buy, but it's cost million. You can search on that. Okay. All right. So because of this data, another things that explode these days is a big data. Okay, that is driven by a digital evolution. Okay. Nowadays, you see, our computer spec is not like previous 20 or 30 years ago. Okay, the first computer that I bought is Intel Celeron. And that cost is about 1,999. I still remember that. Okay. Nowadays, if you buy computer, you top up a few hundred, you can get at least i3. Okay, i3. There is no more Intel Celeron. Okay, so you see, the power of the computer become more powerful. Okay, and the things that make us connected together is computers. And one of the devices that really has a significant impact to our daily life is our smartphone. Okay, saya percaya sekarang most of us have smartphone lah. Ya, kan? Kalau 3310 that we use, I believe susah kita mungkin nak join Zoom pun, I mean Webex is quite difficult for us. Okay, so another thing that we are going to see is the trend of 5G. Okay, the 5G. Okay, I haven't yet seen any products driven by 5G yet because it's still under development. Okay, if you ask me when Malaysia will start to implement 5G, I'm also not sure. Okay, because that's not under our control lah. Okay, that's under communication, the communication punya bidang. Okay, all right. So when big data comes, so the data become more complex, right? Okay, become more complex. Last time we have data that can be stored in our XLS file, Excel file. Okay, dekat CSV file. Sekarang ni you guys ambil data, letak dalam bentuk column and row, right? So itu data tabular kita panggil. Okay, it's not that big data yet. Okay, how big is big data? It's about 100 million row ke macam mana? It's not about that. It's about the complexity of the data. Okay, in a single post, for example, I like that food. You post something in the YouTube. Okay, I like that food. Tapi tiba-tiba dekat like tu you bagi quotation marks there. Okay, the quotation mark. So that quotation mark can representing something like sarcasm, right? So that already adds some complexity in your data. Betul tak? So this kind of thing give us some challenges for us to analyze. Kita tak boleh guna straight line y equal to mx plus c lagi, okay, to model this data. So we need more advanced technique. That's why we comes to artificial intelligence, the deep learning, the machine learning approach to understand, to capture the hidden values in this data. Okay, right? So that's why data science is about a study of data. Okay, I'm currently writing this book. Okay, I'm not sure about 20% lah. Yeah, 20%. So lain kali kalau dah siap, I can buy lah. See how? Okay, this is about my opinion lah. More into your opinion because there are a lot of opinion about big data, study of data, the promising to become a data scientist. So I want to based on my opinion and experience and observation, what happened in our country, the response for us towards the kind of digital job. Okay, so big data is actually a multidisciplinary knowledge and skill. You see, you need to acquire knowledge and skills, okay, to extract insights. Okay, these insights could be an information, okay, could be a result from your analysis. Okay, that's kind of insight. It can be hidden insight from the data. Okay, underlying trend that you can't see directly like this. But when you do the model, baru you faham, oh actually the factor that mempengaruhi harga minyak naik adalah this kind of things. Itu contoh dia. Okay, not the things that you see observably. Dia ada tersirat dan tersurat juga. Okay, so when you talk about data science, okay, it's involved with collection and extraction of the data. Kalau oil tadi, for example, okay, it's involved attraction. You have to collect, you have to extract. Yeah, you have to extract that. Okay, then you have to transform and do the manipulation. Okay, modeling. Okay, visualization, data driven, and also the last one you see here is the artificial intelligence products. That is the final output. Okay, sometimes we only live at data driven decision. Okay, but actually when you have this product, it can help you to make a decision. Okay, to make a decision. Okay, so with AI product, you can have a system that can react, respond, and learn from what happened. Okay, so that's the things that can be done. Okay, in data science. Okay, so I want to focus on this part. Okay, the AI. Okay, as the topics being given by the director of the program to me. Okay, you have to talk about the Python in AI. Okay, so let's talk about the AI. Okay, but before that, I would like to tell you about the digital technology advancement that make data science become one of the prominent ataupun one of the most popular things that people talk today. Okay, so who can be a data scientist? Who can be involved in data science? Okay, if you ask me, okay, anyone can be as long as they have specific skills, have their own specific domain of knowledge. Sebagai contoh, pengajar program, okay, your domain of knowledge may be in biomedical, correct? So you can explore that. In biomedical, you have your own data set. Yeah, you can do the modeling, do the prediction. Okay, you have, even nowadays, biomedical can store the data in the cloud. Okay, you can, I'm not really sure about what happened in biomedical, but let's talk about civil, what I experienced. Okay, last time the drawing only can be done in, for example, we use software and then we print it out, bring it to the site to see, okay, this is the column, this is the roof, this is the beam location. Yeah, nowadays we bring iPad. So anything that we can see, we can show is there. Okay, the drawing should be like this. If we want to update, if there are any changes in the site there, so we can do we can update in our iPad, so everyone will receive the notification. There is a new update in this design instantly. Okay, in real time, the observation. So that's the power of the data tools. Okay, so you see our digital technology nowadays, our computer power, okay, become increasing higher compared to previous. As I mentioned earlier, 20 years ago, we used Intercelero. Now we use i9. Okay, some computer up to i9 right now. Okay, if you use i7, 11th generation, if I'm not mistaken. Last year is 11th generation. Okay, so even if you use Mac, now it's M1. I still use Mac with i5, but still okay. Still, I can conduct a lot of my training session, yeah, using my MacBook. Okay, even though it's i5. Okay, but I'm not sure if M1 Max, how good is it? Okay, so maybe if got an opportunity, then I try to buy lah. Okay, all right. So then the second one is the advancement of algorithm with open source tool. Okay, what is mean by that? Okay, so last time, if we want to do the modeling, for example, last time I want to do the finite element modeling, I use a MATLAB. So in order to use that software, I need to pay thousands of ringgit. I have to subscribe it yearly. Okay, and also the what we call, if I want to create the algorithm, okay, how to use the finite element, I have to hard code it. Maksudnya saya kena uraikan that differential equation, turn it into a matrices form using a numerical method. Okay, so agak susah. Okay, if I show you later how we can use the artificial neural network algorithm, just import it into your Python environment, and then you can instantly use that. But you need to know what's the input, what is the location of the output, how many hidden layers that you need to apply. Itu yang penting. Okay, that's the important thing. And one thing that I can ensure you, you can do it for free. Okay, the things that you need to invest adalah knowledge and your skill to do the programming. That's it. Okay, the knowledge, how do you get it? Okay, macam mana knowledge? One, you buy the books lah. Kedua adalah you buy the data plan internet and watch in YouTube. Ketiga adalah you attend the course. Okay, pergi kelas. So all these are the knowledge gathering, how to use that. Okay, but we are not buying the software. Okay, because the software is free and open source. Okay. Dan ketiga adalah sekarang ni kalau kita tengok ramai profesional yang telah dilahirkan lah. Okay, a lot of professional have been produced through a program, through an education system, okay, which is high skill in computer and data, and they are data professionals. Okay, because of these three things, this kind of three digital technology advancement, then we can make the AI become closer to the human. Okay, the AI is possible to every one of us. Okay, kalau 5 tahun lepas ataupun 10 years ago, bila kita dengar AI ni, wah, hanya orang tertentu je boleh. But if I show you today, you will feel that, oh, I can do it. Okay, because everything is, you just understand how to, what kind of packages that you need, do a little bit configuration, then understand the theory. Itu yang penting. Dalam AI, if you want to get involved in that, okay, jangan kata you nak jadi data scientist tapi tak nak matematik. Oh, kalau macam tu jadi benda lain lah. Ya, sebab tak boleh lari. Ya, you like programming, don't like maths, doesn't give you to become a data scientist. You're just a programmer. Okay, you like maths, but you don't know programming. You boleh lah jadi, you are genius in maths lah. Okay, but learn programming make your life easy. That's the thing that I can tell you. Okay, all right. So artificial intelligence is the next wave of digital reality. Okay, digital reality. You know Meta. Okay, I believe that most of us have Facebook lah. So last month, if I'm not mistaken, last month or last 2 months, get me. Okay, so the CEO of Facebook tell they are moving towards Meta, which is become reality in the next 5 years, dia kata. Okay, but some of people are skeptical about that. Okay, that's why Mark Zuckerberg punya kekayaan dalam satu hari boleh jatuh dalam berapa million, 3 billion. Wah, 3 billion boleh hilang satu hari. Kalau kita hilang 1,000 satu hari pun rasa macam tak shock ya. Tiba-tiba hilang 1,000. Dan 100 pun macam lain macam rasanya. Ini 3 billion satu hari. Because people are skeptical about that technology. But we wait and see. But what we understand, what I'm understand through readings and literature, okay, they try to make digital become a reality environment. Some of the developer that involved in Meta, they create the digital property. They create the digital housing in Meta. Maksudnya lagi saya boleh beli my own land in Meta. So I'm not sure how it works, but we are going to see it for the next 5 years. Okay. So AI is actually a simulation of human intelligence processed by the computer system. Okay, you see, human intelligence processes by computer system. We have the intelligent, we are the intelligent kind of creature. Okay, human is the intelligent creature because we have a special type of brain. Okay, daripada brain kita ni dia boleh interpret a lot of things. So how do we interpret? We learn through experience, betul tak? Kan dulu mungkin kita tahu cerik tu bila kita bakar, when we panaskan air, cerik tu panas. Kita tak tahu time kecil. Kita pegang. Wah, panas, sakit, nangis. From there, I learn new experience. Jangan pegang cerik selepas you masak air. Betul tak? Kalau sampai sekarang you pegang-pegang lagi cerik tu selepas masak air, tu tak tahulah. You have problem maybe. But believe me, that is the way we get learn from the experience. So data tadi adalah our observation. Itu kita punya data, behavior. And we learn from that. Sama juga dalam AI, artificial. Artificial means something that we built. Dalam bahasa Melayu dia buatan kan. Kecerdasan buatan. Kecerdasan tu intelligence. Artificial is something that we made. Okay, artificial coloring for example. So ini adalah buatan. When we call this about something that human create, so we need the tools to create that. So what's the tool? Okay, a programming tools and the algorithm. So this kind of thing is specially programmed with advanced algorithm. Okay, so this kind of technology, when we make a AI technology, it's become, they allow computer to communicate with human. Kan, macam mana? Contoh, you have a smartphone, right? If you use iPhone, you ada Siri, you ada kawan Siri that iPhone. You can ask him, her, or him, hey Siri, how's the weather today, for example. Okay, and he will respond to you. So my Siri already respond to my ni. Dia kata hari ni cloudy sikit dan mungkin hujan. Okay, in term of berapa persen. So it will respond, you see. This is the power of AI. And the Siri is developed by Stanford Research Institute, SRI. So dulu saya bila di UTM, I've been coached by SRI team in their entrepreneurship program. So di UTM, their entrepreneurship program is quite good. So kalau you guys ni boleh join lah. So I've been taught that. Okay, SRI. Okay. So as Siri is developed by them, Apple buy it from them. Okay, Apple buy it from them. Banyak orang kata, Apple punya ke? So Siri is actually developed by them. Okay. So there are a lot of ways the things communicate with us, interact with us. Tadi adalah melalui voice recognition, correct? Another thing is sensor. Okay, alarm system. Detect some movement. They detect my face, not my face. So dia akan send some signal. Toot, toot. And dia akan send message to my smartphone. Mengatakan ada orang, someone, for example. So that's the way of interaction. Okay. So it leverages the computer power to mimic the problem solving and decision making capability of your mind. Okay. Sekarang ni dekat restoran saya dengar even robot boleh serve kita. Kan ada robot datang. Ada satu yang paling canggih saya tengok di YouTube hari itu adalah satu robot yang memang dia design macam manusia. Can speak, can show the emotion. Mujur dia tak ada soul lagi lah. Bahaya. Jangan ada soul. Sudah. Tak boleh tu. Emotion boleh create berdasarkan question. You can set dia punya parameters situ. And, okay. So, there are 4 things. The key of AI. Okay. Pertama adalah sense. So, tadi I talk to my Siri. Okay. And they recognize my sound. Okay. And I have this idea before. Dulu lah. Dan tiba-tiba 3 or 4 years later, Google, dia keluarkan some sort of prank video yang kita boleh hidu makanan yang kita tengok dekat screen. Okay, what kind of smell. And we come to the idea before. Last time when saya pun lupa lah. Kenapa kita tak boleh digitalkan bau ni lagi? Okay, the things that, I'm not sure, maybe you have some other literature that you read in the internet. Ada tak orang digitalkan smell? Okay, please, if you guys have effort, if you are very good in programming, try to make smell digital. So itu canggih. Okay, chemist, I think biomedical ada related with chemist. Benda ni hanya formulation of chemical saja. Okay, and when we do a chemical simulation, for example, the CFD analysis ataupun dulu saya pernah buat, I forget the terms, biomolecular. So we can blend the chemical, tapi kita tak boleh hidup pun. Kita just boleh tengok dia punya the electron behavior saja. Cannot smell it. So how about if you can smell it? Okay, so other things that can be sensed adalah image. Airport, for example, you go to the IKEA dekat JB, dia ada satu TV besar tu boleh scan kita punya temperature. Okay, menggunakan thermal imaging. Okay, and even gesture. Sekarang ni people play with gesture pun ada the games. Okay, another things that involve AI is a thing. Empat-empat ni kena ada, baru dia macam AI. Okay, alright, to think. For example, the autonomous vehicle, Tesla. Kereta Tesla. So you see this car, they have a lot of sensor. And that sensor can interpret sama ada signboard ke. Contoh signboard tu bagi tahu speed. So that particular car will move at the recommended speed. Kalau ada orang, dia akan stop. Dan dia boleh estimate how fast is the car in front of him, in front of that particular car. Okay, so they have a speed sensor together with the visual sensor. Okay, so you see from this sensor, that algorithm that been designed using an AI able to think if the signboard say 10 km per hour, so that car will move 10 km per hour. And if the traffic light show a red light, it will stop. Green, dia akan start balik lah. Okay. Yang bagusnya, kalau boleh, if someone that doing research in AI for car, jangan you design kereta ni. Okay, jangan ambil data yang betul lah. Especially when it comes to the yellow color light, green, yellow color. Okay, sorry to say, saya pun kadang-kadang, wah kalau yellow itu time to speed, sepatutnya kereta, if you train your vehicle using that data set, nanti bila yellow je dia speed up. Itu tak betul algorithm nanti. Supposed to be, you have a data set that show, okay, kalau yellow, slow. Kalau red, stop. Okay, because when we want to train the algorithm, they read from the data. Okay. The next thing is action. Okay, it provides action. For example, I want to purchase data science for business book ni dekat Amazon. So dia akan recommend yang lain. It involve me an action. So dia tak buat satu je buku, lepas tu pula bagi novel yang tak ada kaitan. A love novel, for example. Wah, cari buku data science, tapi then next dia suggest buku lain pula. So tidak sesuai lah. So that's why, kalau you shopping, kenapa you suka dekat Shopee? Salah satu dia punya retention. Dia bukan harga saja tau. Okay, macam mana sistem tu boleh recommend you benda lain pula. Okay, cari shampoo, dia suggest you a lot of shampoo there. Suggest apa lagi benda yang suka beli dekat Shopee, apa contoh? Saya jarang lah. Kalau benda tu macam tak ada, baru saya pergi cari. Tapi from there you see, dia akan bagi you a lot of recommendation. Okay, that recommendation is something that they offer to the customer. Okay, that improve their retention time. Okay. Last is learn. Ini penting dalam AI. Okay, dalam AI. Sama juga dengan human lah. When your age grow, your experience grow. Okay, your knowledge levels pun grow. Kan, human like this. Kan? Because of what? Because we read a lot. Because we encounter a lot of problems before, and from time to time we know how to handle it. Okay, lain kali you bekerja pun sama juga. Mula-mula you masuk macam-macam problem dia jumpa. After 5 years, problem ni, macam ni cara dia, ini cara dia. Itu you learn from the experience. So our AI model also have to learn from the experience. For example, awal-awal dia mungkin you punya sistem dia tak boleh detect ini Apple. But you tell the algorithm, ini bukan apple. So dia akan learn. The next iteration, mungkin gambar apple ni dah kena gigit. Tapi itu gambar apple kena gigit. Tapi you say ini apple juga. So lama-lama dia tahu, oh merah color bentuk macam ni, ada ni apple. From time to time, you have to update your algorithm. So dia akan learn, obtain knowledge and experience. Okay. Alright, so ini adalah the real of AI. Okay. AI ni dia dah lama dah start. Cuma kita je yang agak baru. Kenapa? Sebab kita terbalik sikit. Kalau orang dulu dia start daripada 1950, dia start learn about the ecosystem AI. Okay. Dan biasanya knowledge ni, ya, dia tak terus tersebar begitu. Okay. Dia dekat certain organisation that apply this kind of AI. Sebagai contoh dalam military maybe, okay, they focus on the use of the AI. The development is there first. Okay, until satu part baru dia dah open. So actually where we start to recognize AI adalah machine learning lah. Starting from 2010, something like that. Actually dia kalau dia betul-betul start 80. Tapi kenapa dia tak meluas dipakai? Sebab kita tak banyak open source punya programming language. Sekarang ni kenapa dia boom? Because of the open source software. And people nowadays, instead of talking about AI, people talk about ML dan DL. Machine learning and deep learning. So when we talk about the AI nowadays, we focus on machine learning and also deep learning. Okay? To understand the underlying behavior. To understand what are deeper insight from that particular data set that we have. Okay? So ML is actually training the algorithm. Ini adalah definition of machine learning lah. Okay. Training the algorithm using historical data. So kita ada satu historical data. Okay. And we use it to train the algorithm. Okay. And then the output kita adalah kita nak satu model. Sama ada model tu untuk saya forecast. For example, okay, I need this straight line. When I train this algorithm, mula-mula saya ada data dot-dot ni. Ini adalah original data saya. Okay, tapi macam mana saya nak ada satu model supaya saya boleh predict weight based on their height. Okay, so I train this algorithm, the linear regression algorithm. Okay, and then I get this straight line. Okay, so this straight line is imitating the model that I have here. The y equal to 0.2811x plus 13.9. Ini adalah saya punya model. Okay, so the AI that we learn is as simple as this. When you form 5 even. Ingat tak y on x plus c. And if you have quadratic graph, you have y equal to x squared plus x plus 1, contoh. Okay, it's simple as that, the AI. Okay, but during that time kita guna analytical method lah. Kita cari gradient dia guna dy dx. Yeah? So sekarang ni, what we have, actually everything in the internet already. We just know how to import the model, understand how to use it, then we can get to plot the algorithm. Okay, so these are example of industry that use AI. Okay, they use AI. Okay, so Scanza, I'm not sure you guys heard about Scanza before. Okay, Scanza ni adalah construction industry in US. Okay, Scanza is a construction industry in US. Okay, so one of the things that they do, they realize that kenapa selalu ada apa nama ni? Why they always have what do we call? Kenapa ada selalu delay dalam construction? Okay, kadang-kadang kita boleh cakap delay because of weather. Delay because of tak cukup pekerja. Okay, tetapi when they do the study, one of the contributing factor which is very significant adalah dia punya management of workers. Macam mana mereka place their workers. Okay, so when they do the analytics, they use a wearable device to understand the movement of their workers. So salah seorang average working distance of the worker in the site is about 9 km daily. Pernah jalan 9 km tak? Jauh 9 km tu. Satu hari. Tapi saya pernah jalan 9 km tapi in Japan, I think that day I walk about almost 15, 18. Saya pun lupa, saya think. Sebab jalan. Ya. Di sana okey lah, jalan dia tak panas tapi dia sejuk. Kalau sini jalan 1 kilometer, peluh lah, mandi peluh. Okay. So, when they do the tracing, okay, so 9 kilometer a day, you imagine, berapa banyak masa terbuang? Okay, just to walk, not to work. Okay, so, then they implement the AI modeling untuk optimizekan. Okay, salah satu factor adalah positioning of the workers based on their expertise. Okay, contoh dekat kita ada 3 site. Okay, 3 site. So, professional tu ada dekat site A. Tiba-tiba site B pun nak guna dia. Site C pun nak guna. So, the number of professional yang sepatutnya appear in these 3 sites tak mencukupi. Okay? Ataupun you have to do the proper management to locate the professional of this should be. Ada soalan tak setakat ni? Kalau ada soalan, you can just throw in the chat box lah ya. Okay, so maybe saya baru tengok chat box. Okay, ada dari MJIT, UTM, School of Computing, okay, Kyrie, in private sector, now study in UKM. Oh, nice to meet you. Firdaus Kyrie, saya macam pernah dengar the name, yeah. Okay, so Siti Aiza, okay, thanks, okay. Sunway Medical School, okay, yeah. Alright, okay. So if you have any question, you just throw it in the chat box. I try to, the question that I can respond lah. Okay, alright. So can you please, yeah, share in the our chat box, okay? Okay, so sambung lagi cerita. So once they do a proper allocation of the worker side, and then the location of the tool and resources, cement letak mana, batu-batu letak mana. So at the end of the day, they're able to reduce, reduce worker in time motion. Maksudnya the walking distance they can reduce by 1/3. Okay, from 9 km per day, they can work 3 km daily. Banyak tu. Okay, banyak tu. Okay, alright. So let me take a look. So Lim Pang Jun. Machine learning data is tensor matrix. So most time we are performing correct. By GPU, everything is performing digital with huge amount of data and might spend months or years to train. Therefore, I would like to ask in the future, can we see a comeback of analog computer to train? Okay, so it's a good question. I believe you get the experience to do this. Okay, so talk about the months. I mean, you say here spend months to train the algorithm. So that's why it doesn't necessary for you to. You have to understand the data set that you want to analyze or you want to train with. Okay, for example, what kind of things that you involve? Of course, it solves the matrix. Sebab tu dia cepat. Okay, the reason our computer can speed up the computation process because of the tensor, the data already be converted into a matrices. Bukan secara analytical work. Analytical work tu yang dy dx differential equation. You solve it analytically first, baru you masukkan value. Itu analytical works. Numerical works, we apply the tensor and matrix. So that are the things that accelerating the computation process actually lah. Okay, but if you have too much column, okay, too much column, too much row, it might have a time. Okay, it might perlukan lagi banyak masa untuk you train the algorithm. Okay, if you have maybe million. Tetapi sebenarnya saya rasa tak sampai. Saya pernah buat, it doesn't necessary for us to really train the algorithm using million of row, 100,000 of column. That's why masa yang paling panjang kita gunakan actually is the data preparation and exploration. okay, dan pre-processing. Itu paling banyak. I can say that about 60 to 70% of the total analytical works, which is in machine learning, I say, okay, 60 to 70% untuk data preparation dan juga pre-processing sahaja. Okay, because you have to identify faktor mana yang mempengaruhi output. Okay, so if you say take times, okay, for what I see, if you want to get start, yeah, even my computer sometimes I use my Mac. Saya tak ada saya guna integrated lah, IPU saja, integrated. Saya tak ada graphical processing unit. Okay, but still I can, but of course take time lah. Tapi kalau saya guna komputer yang memang ada graphic card, wow, cepat. Okay, so it depends on your data. Okay, so please carefully think whether you need 1 million of row and 1 million of column, ataupun maybe 100 of row and 20 of column just enough. It depends on your data set. Okay, dan banyak orang bila dia buat neural networks, dia throw out all these variable without do any selection. Itu yang bahaya tu. You ask the algorithm to learn everything by themselves. Okay, actually kena ada human intervention juga to prepare the data. Kalau tak, dia macam isu yang saya cakap tadi. You measure the data, the real data untuk your car understand about the traffic light color. Kalau kita gunakan real data, we observe on the jalan, ya, untuk jadikan dia input to understand the traffic light color. That's why I say, kalau dia kuning, kita akan speed up. Sepatutnya dia slow down. Okay, unless you simulatekan situation. Nah, itu lain cerita lah. Okay, so dia ada dua jenis programming actually. The machine learning approach, another one is the rule-based approach. So the rule-based approach adalah gunakan if-else. Itu common things in programming. Tapi dalam machine learning, the if-else is decided by the algorithm. Okay, my if-else might be different with algorithm if-else. Sebab tu dia kata machine learning. So that's why you need to properly understand your data sets. Okay, alright, Lynn. Okay. Which model CNN RNN is efficient for comment classification on WhatsApp? Okay, in real-time data. Okay, so which model CNN is efficient for comments classification? Okay, for me, this one is more into text analysis. Okay, CNN is actually focusing on images. Okay, so RNN is recurrent neural networks. That is much proper for comment classification. Okay, CNN is focused on image processing. Itu yang biasa saya pakai lah. Sebab you see, we have to make sebab CNN, ya, dia convolutional language. You akan add a new pool to discretize the metrics of the images. Nanti kita tengok. Okay, alright, thanks. Okay, Muhammad Anwar for the question. Okay. Alright, so how can I know that which machine learning model are suitable for identification measures for image processing? Okay. Model. Okay. So I think, Mr. Hakim, so the question here, you want to select the model. Actually, model, okay, dia ada banyak. Contoh, you nak classkan image. Okay, ada orang dia guna nice players, tapi itu basically on text classification is okay. Tapi kalau image, you can use CNN. Okay, so CNN is a convolutional neural networks. Okay, the most important thing to us for identify adalah how well we train the model. Okay, if I want to very simple things, saya nak buat satu model untuk predict harga rumah dia. Okay, the price of the house. Okay, so if let's say the price of the house, there are a lot of factors that can affecting, betul tak? So saya boleh gunakan neural network to create a model to predict the house. Saya juga boleh gunakan apa lagi satu? linear regression saja. Multiple linear regression to predict the health. Okay, which one should I use? Okay, when I experience the overall process of my analytic works, the more simpler the model is much better. Okay, but the most important thing is the performance of the model. Itu yang penting. For example, if you do a image processing, when you train it using a CNN, okay, what do you want to achieve? Of course, the model with high accuracy, correct? With a minimal loss. So itu kita punya target. So how do we can improve the accuracy? Pertama, okay, if you have a classification problem, make sure the data is balanced. If you have a regression problem, make sure the tabular of the data is follow the normal distribution curve. Okay, and also remove the unused variable. Okay, variable yang tidak signifikan mempengaruhi harga rumah tadi. Itu yang penting hakim. Okay, alright. But dalam classification, for example, you can choose multiple of that. Okay, you can choose multiple of that. Okay, naik Bayes ke ni, nanti you pilih yang mana satu berdasarkan dia punya ada 3 indikator ya dalam classification problem. Okay, pertama adalah ini classification. Okay, classification, accuracy, precision, and also recall. Tengok 3. Ataupun kalau you nak tengok F-score pun boleh. Tengok the balancing of the result. Okay. Alright, so I think we thank you for your question. We continue again a few session. Nanti kita tunjuk sedikit coding-coding yang related with the ni. Okay, I can show with you some example here. Okay, but if you have question, you throw it there. When I free, I come back and try to respond to you. Okay. Alright. So yeah, another one is recommendation system as mentioned earlier. This is AI process where the behavior. Okay, ini adalah data yang kita mereka cari. When you go to the Shopee, yeah. So your activities, apa contoh activities? How long that you see that particular product? You baca tak? Berapa lama you engage with that page? Satu. Okay. Ataupun berapa kali you tekan that particular product? Kalau you dah sekali, next time you tengok sekali, oh ini dah banyak kali tengok produk, macam tengok beli tak dia. Bila you beli je, dia dah send something. Maksudnya kalau user ni dah 3 kali tekan produk yang sama ni, dia akan beli. Itu something data. Your activities. Okay, preference. Tengok jenis apa produk yang selalu cari. Bila you go to Shopee, kosmetik ke? Okay, computer item ke? Alright? Benda-benda macam tu. Your behavior. Ya, apa yang selalu you browse. Actually, Amazon ataupun Facebook get your data not necessarily from the things that you observe dekat Facebook, for example. Okay, macam mana? Okay, contoh you guys hari ni Google something dekat Safari ataupun you punya Google Chrome. Tiba-tiba you dapat satu iklan yang related with something that you search for. Itu adalah peranan cookies. Okay, that's why they always allow accept cookies. Okay, everyone like to accept cookies because it's cookies, betul tak? Siapa tak nak cookies? Cookies tu sedap tu. And when they give you cookies, ada something lah, mana ada benda free kan? That's why they kata cookies there. Accept the cookies. When you accept the cookies, you allow the data transfer between your apps and your internet browser. Tapi sekarang yang bagusnya iPhone, dia boleh tak trace this data transfer. Dia ada satu, dia dah upgrade dia punya sistem untuk iPhone lah. So jarang berlaku lah sekarang ni. Whenever I Google in this, dia tak recommend dekat saya punya Facebook di iPhone. Tapi bila saya guna saya punya Mac atau komputer lain, dia dapat trace pula. Okay. Alright, so yeah, another one is fraud detection system lah. Okay, ini macam susah tapi actually it's not difficult to program. As long as you understand the process. Okay, so you got the customer contoh saya lah. Okay, I purchase something. When I go to do the purchasing, okay, Biasa saya do the transaction RM100, RM200, RM300, paling tinggi pun RM800, RM1,000 lah. One day I buy, wah, tiba-tiba RM10,000 punya barang. Which is the outliers of my behavior. Okay. Previously, the algorithm in the bank, okay, captured my behavior that I spend between 100 to 1,000, something like this. This is the range. Kalau lebih sikit pun okay. Tiba-tiba instantly 10,000. Ini something could be a fraud cases. Ataupun tiba-tiba dah lah 10,000. Then I want to buy overseas pula tu. Lagi lah. Biasa saya beli dalam negara je. Okay, that's why bank call. If you do this, walaupun you yang buat, dia tak allow that transaction because that algorithm tell you this is a fraud cases. And then a few moments, the bank will call you. Hello, did you really make this kind of transaction? If yes, we proceed. If no, we consider this as a fraud cases. So dalam data, kalau memang bukan you yang buat, data baru dia, algorithm dia akan identify itu sebagai fraud, which is the update of your behavior. Dan kedua, kalau benda tu memang you yang nak do the transaction, then the system will require it as a, then the system akan notify this as a legit transaction. Okay, legit transaction. Okay. Alright, so how about that? Okay tak AI? Boleh tak dapat idea dia? The AI is simple as you want to detect the price of the house. Always remember that. When you get more experience, then baru dia punya ini lebih ni. Paling interesting adalah chatbot pula. Chatbot kan? You buy Asia ticket, tiba-tiba tak ada apa nama ni? Tiba-tiba nak claim, nak tukar tarikh. Nak tukar tarikh Asia ticket. So siapa yang kita kena jawab? Tak ada. Asia tak ada bagi nombor telefon. They will not give you a number phone. So you have to communicate with Eva kalau tak silap saya. The Eva is the robot, the chatbot. Okay, that understand your what question that you ask. Okay, macam mana dia boleh tahu tu? Itu dah kita panggil sebagai NLP. Okay, Natural Language Processing. Dan dalam Python, dia ada satu packages we call as a Natural Language Package, Natural Language Processing Kit, NLTK. Okay, Natural Language, NLPK, sorry. Itu adalah kits yang untuk untuk apa nama ni? Untuk detect that kind of to group the words, to process text. Okay. Okay, Aina, we see in the chat box there. Aina mentioned that I had a mystery experience. My Instagram show ads sitting I want to eat, buy, or interested. Never search. Just checking. Yes. Betul. Okay. Okay, NLTK, correct. Natural Language Toolkits, correct. Okay, NLTK language. Okay. So, what Aina shared, maybe you can share with us. Are you use Huawei? Maybe Aina. Okay, Huawei tak Aina Zafira? iPhone. Oh, iPhone Sebab my friends, tapi bukanlah saya nak cakap yang Huawei yang ni I don't want to talk about any brand. Tapi benda ni pun ada berlaku dekat kita. Cerita benda yang really I mean, it's really nonsense, but suddenly appear in my Facebook, in our Facebook. Okay, kita cerita pasal apa I forget about that. About facial surgery, if I'm not mistaken. Which is definitely the thing that we are not even search in the internet. But suddenly appear in our Facebook. My friends are not mine. Okay, and my friends use Huawei at that time. And this happened, I think, 2 or 3 times already. Play sikit Okay. Alright, so how do you get start with AI? Okay, so boleh tak kita rest 10 minit? Okay tak MC? Macam kerongkong sudah gatal lah. Boleh tak?
Yes, boleh.
Boleh Okay.
So
Okay.
we can have a break, short break for 10 minutes. So get some refreshment, and we'll see you again at 3:70. Is it okay?
3 berapa? 3.15.
3:20 lah.
3.20 boleh? Boleh?
Ah,
3.20 boleh? Alright, okay. Alright, thank you. Okay, see you later. Okay.
Alright, so it's already 3:20 p.m. Are you guys still here? You can give me some response or give thumbs up. Okay. Okay, thank you for the response. So, Dr. Nicholas, whenever you are ready, you may begin the session.
Okay, all right. Okay, so thanks again, okay, for your time, everyone here. Okay, so let's continue. I think we can maybe around 4 we can finish, ya. Okay, tak banyak sangat lah lagi. So this is just the sharing parts of some sort of the things, okay, the things that we want to explore in Python programming for AI, okay. So what's the ingredient if you want to get involved in AI, yeah? So ingredient sama lah. Kalau saya nak masak mi goreng, so kena ada kicap, kena ada mi lah. Itu yang penting, okay. And then kena ada garam. The rest of the things kalau nak tambah pun boleh sebagai dia punya flavor. Okay. So the same also with AI. The fundamental key things that we need to have, okay, if you want to get involved in AI is first data. Okay, tak ada data, it's not AI. Okay, the reason we have AI is because of data. Okay, and then second we have ML and or DL algorithm. Okay, ini adalah component, the mathematical component, okay, that learn from the data. Okay, and the third one is programming. Okay, because you see the definition of the AI at the first place is things that human created and program, okay, that able to self-learn and give the response to the user. Okay, itu adalah dia punya terminologies. Okay, so you see, okay, data ni tadi dia component that contain information, but you have to extract it. Okay, raw data is raw data. So the extraction process is by using the algorithm. Okay, sama ada ML ataupun DL if you go to deep learning. Okay, first is to capture the trend. Okay, the algorithm can capture the trend. For example, the things that we see just now. Okay, kedua, acquire knowledge and experience. Okay, for example, if you want to do the text processing. Okay, tadi kita cerita ada CNN, ada RNN. Okay, actually text processing, if you do the text classification, you even can use the knife Bayes. Okay, the knife Bayes. Okay, the NLTK kits itu hanyalah untuk kita buat back of words. Okay, this kind of series back of words, how to do the steaming of the words, yeah, trimming the words. Itu tujuan kits. When it comes to predict what are the emotion, what are the meaning of the text, okay, what is the sentiment of the text, kita boleh gunakan even like Bayes, support vector machine, okay, to do the. But if you want to get more deeper, of course, if you want to get more intelligent kind of AI, so that's why you go to deep learning. Okay, so the next, the programming is the main tools. Itu yang kita nak cerita hari ini, programming. Okay, the main tools to build the AI system. You want to build the AI software, you need programming. You want to build an AI program, you need a programming. Okay, so that is the key things that make AI become digital. Okay, so it helps to automate the process of computation, completing some tasks. Yeah, okay, in big data, for example, you want to do the manipulation, transformation, okay, extract, transform, load, ataupun extract, load, transform. Okay, easy customization. And also it's free and open source. Itu yang penting lah dalam AI. Okay, so the next thing, there are a lot of languages. Banyak languages. Okay, I believe someone from computer science, saya rasa ada dari computer science ini, you have more knowledge than me about programming actually. Okay, you know more than me Java, yeah. Apa lagi C++. I learned C++ before. Okay, I even teach C++, yeah. So some language, they are purposely designed for specific application. HTML untuk website, for example. Java is for software development, apps development. Okay, but when we talk about the Python, okay, it also can be used for general purposes. Ada yang gunakan Python untuk buat website. Tetapi I'm not recommending that. Because you see, dia ada dua jenis type of language. Pertama, compiler language. Kedua adalah interpreter language. Okay. Python adalah interpreter language. So when you have program, when I run that certain program, Python program, for example, they interpret dulu. They interpret that language and convert it into a machine language, into a binary code. Baru kita punya CPU, the brain try to interpret what is the message, what the instruction being given. So nampak tak ada satu delay proses kat situ. Lepas tu bila kita buat Python software, dia agak lama. Tetapi bila saya gunakan compiler language, okay, so when you siap satu program, you compile jadi satu program, dia compile tau. Compilation process tu bila maksudnya you change everything into a binary code. Okay, dia dalam bentuk binary code. So the binary code is direct translation to the machine language. Sebab tu bila kita dah install program, semuanya dalam binary code. Okay, you do the installation. Contoh you download software WebEx, you install. So this WebEx, okay, dalam kita punya sistem program, dia adalah dalam bentuk in the form of binary code. Okay, so when I use some function in WebEx, so my computer easy and fast to interpret because it's in the binary. Itu benda yang kita, the things that we have to be clear. Okay, so I think from computer science dia tahulah benda ni. Okay, so the reason we use AI with Python, first easy, and we build a program. Okay, so and also the advantage of Python, it can be integrated, okay, with other platform. For example, I want to build a web-based machine learning application menggunakan Python, so we can integrate it with Django, for example. Django is a kind of a compiler language that can use to make a website. That ML website. Ada satu lagi saya lupa. Okay, there's one more. Okay, nanti saya teringat saya sebut ya. Okay. So it's a free. Ini yang paling penting ni. Free. Everyone nowadays people like free things. Okay, free things. Ya, saya pun suka free. Kalau boleh benda tu free lah. Perlu bayar pun kalau boleh free lah. Okay. Kalau perlu bayar beli something, ada free gift tak? Itu kita suka lah. Okay, so same also with Python, everything is free. Okay, dengan dia punya library like Keras, TensorFlow, and sklearn. Okay, and easy syntax lah. Easy syntax. Okay. These are the organizations that use Python in their AI. Okay. But when you see YouTube, for example, okay, so YouTube utilize this Python language, okay, for their recommendation system. They not using Python for all their apps. Faham tak? Dia buat dia punya recommendation system menggunakan Python, but overall when they build the YouTube apps, okay, they integrate with other languages. Java, for example. Java is one of the powerful language lah untuk software development lah. Okay, so do not confuse. Google guna Python je untuk ni ya. No. Okay, so some of the properties, some of the features in Google, for example, for the recommendation engine. Okay, you type ABC, tiba-tiba dia akan suggest you a few kind of suggestion. That is the they use a Python to develop that. Okay. Alright. This is one of the IDE. when we talk about the programming, so where we type that program? Okay, where do we type that program? Okay, so we type it at what we call as an IDE, Integrated Development Environment. So there are a lot of IDE available, okay, in the market. Spider, yeah? And one of it is Jupyter Notebook. Okay, Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so how do we install Jupyter Notebook? Tak apa, hari ni kita tak demo hands-on. This is more into lecture and knowledge sharing session. So later I can share with you this. Okay, maybe I can share this one. Ini version saya rasa agak lama. I share in the chat box. You can, boleh ya. I share in the chat box. You can save it. Okay. Saya even ada buat guideline dekat my YouTube. I think this is my YouTube channel. Okay, how to do the installation. Okay, so I install it. Okay, menggunakan Anaconda platform. Okay, the distributor. Ini distributor. So from here, then I can open it. Okay, let me demo a little bit. How to open it. Okay. So you see, I installed the Anaconda Navigator, which is here. Let me open. Okay. Yes, Google Colab. Yeah, Google Colab is actually a Jupyter Notebook dalam bentuk Google. I mean, dia gunakan Google punya clouds services. Actually, the things, the way to use also silly. Is there any like packages for Ubuntu? Okay, this one I'm not really sure, but I try to check for you later, Razmi, or you can communicate with my directly. Okay, later I give some my contact. I say to both. So I'm not really familiar with Ubuntu punya ecosystem, but hopefully we have. Okay, so this is your dashboard when you click that Anaconda. Okay, so dekat Anaconda ni ada Jupyter, nampak tak? Okay, sekarang ni yang bagusnya, when you install Anaconda, they automatically install the Jupyter Notebook. Okay, they will install that Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so when I click launch, ataupun kalau you belum install, dia akan dalam bentuk ni. Okay, install. Okay, Spider is also for Python. Saya tak pernah guna. Okay, saya fokus kepada Jupyter. Ada orang tanya saya, perlu tak saya belajar guna Jupyter Lab, guna Jupyter Spider, apa lagi? Belajar R language. Yeah, for me, the most important things, master one language that you think can do most of the things. Okay, jangan untuk visualization saya guna R. Untuk machine learning saya guna Python. Wow, that is very difficult lah for me. Itu tidak begitu, you will waste a lot of time of learning programming instead of processing the data. Okay, so banyak orang, there are a lot of mistake, yeah, the student, or not student, the people makes when they learn about data science ataupun AI. Okay, so they're focusing on apa nama ni? They're focusing on learning the programming, syntax and everything, but they spend very little time to understand the data, to prepare the data in good condition. Okay. Alright, ada soalan dari Hakim. Is there any difference? Dia actually, Google Colab actually a version of Jupyter Notebooks. Okay, it's a version of Jupyter Notebook in apa nama ni? In cloud services. Actually, they are same. Okay, if you open the Google Colab, dia dekat cloud, and you have to online if you use a Google Colab. Okay, it's you cannot go online. Maksudnya if you are not online, you cannot use Google Colab. Okay, but if you use Jupyter Notebooks, you can do it offline. But you need a web browser. So that's why when I open this, for example, I click this. So this is the dashboard that I have. Okay, the dashboard. Usually our dashboard, okay, shows the location that initially our dashboard. So this is the main dashboard of Jupyter Notebooks. So it utilized my web browser. Okay, you see in the web browser on the top there, okay, they show me the address in my computer. Okay, because when we open any software, dia ada address tau. Dia ada alamat dia. Okay, contoh nak beli barang. Setiap barang tu dalam kedai kan. Dalam kedai dia ada location. So the location here, this is the local host, the number of the address. Different computer, different address. Tapi biasanya 888 ataupun 8889. 38 dan 9. Contoh. Okay. So they use my web browser, but I don't necessary to be online. Okay. Kalau you guna Google Colab, so you have to be online. Contoh ya. Colab. Okay. Sebelum, before the name become a Jupyter Notebook, we call this as a, Jupyter Notebook as a IPython notebook. Sebab tu, that's why the extension name here IPYNB. Okay, IPython. Yeah. So you see all the yeah, desktop, and then I go to this one, programming dataset. You see, IPython notebook. And even you see in the Google Colab here, so the data, when I create new notebook, also the extension is IPython. So this is the cloud version of Jupyter Notebook. Terpulang you nak guna mana. Tapi kalau saya guna yang local lah. Okay. The reason people use Colab ni because they want to do a collaboration works. I can share this with my partners, for example. Itu yang ni. Kita boleh setting. So everyone can contribute into that coding. Itu terpulang. Okay. Alright. So let's focus on what we have here. Okay. Make sure you install the individual version edition. Okay. Install the individual edition. Okay. I think the latest one is 3.9. Okay. Please zoom in. Yeah, which one? Zoom in. Luar. Please zoom in. Which one? This one? This one? Oh, this one. Maybe I can zoom. Okay, so let me focus on this. Okay. All right, so you see, I said before, there are a lot of packages. So what is packages? Okay, they are the packages, module, and function. Okay, so try to imagine that. Yeah? Try to imagine that function is the equation. I want to calculate the energy. For example, the energy equal to mc squared. E equal to mc squared. Betul. Okay. Katakanlah saya memang tak tahu this kind of function. Okay. Where can I get it? Traditional way lah. Jangan cerita tentang search online. Okay, traditional way, I can go to the class, lecture will give me. Second one is I go to the library and finds the book. Okay. And in that books, open the books, then I can get the equation and how to use that equation. Betul tak? Okay, so the equation is the function. And I go to the library. Library is packages. And in the library, we have books. And the books is the module. Okay. So dalam library ada module. Dalam module ada equation, ada function. So that's why the most important thing, if you want to use a specific function, you have to know what are the module that they require, ataupun what are the library ataupun packages that you need. Library and packages are the same things. Okay, they are the same things. Okay, so one of the things is NumPy. Okay, NumPy is the packages that make us can work with matrices. Okay, NumPy. Okay. Lepas tu, another powerful thing is scalar. Satu lagi saya terlupa tulis adalah, let me remember, pandas ya, untuk data frame. Okay, ini adalah basic, ya, basic, what do we call? A basic kind of packages to work with. Okay, so how do we use that? Okay, let me show with you some thing here. Wait, yeah. Okay, let me check. Okay. All right. So if you see here, for those who pernah attend kursus saya, dia tahulah slide ni maybe a little bit upgrade. Yeah. Okay. So you see here, this is the name of the packages that I import to my ecosystem. Let's say this is our analytic ecosystem. Okay. Our analytic ecosystem is using a Jupyter notebooks. Okay. So if I type this keyword ataupun this statement, so how do I run it? Okay. So katakanlah start and play output. Okay, jangan type It will take us about total kursus ni adalah 6 hours Tadi tu baru intro je. So the total coding work if you join my course lebih kurang berapa Lebih kurang 6 jam. Hingga ke 8 jam macam tu. Itu include lecture and the hands on. Okay. Okay. So let's say I run this So import is a keyword for us to import the packages and I set this as a NumPy punya extension. Okay, instead of use this word later on, I can use it for example, I use a NumPy here. Dan dekat sini ada tak saya apply NumPy? Tak ada. Okay, maybe I want to express the usage of pandas and also the matplotlib. Okay, so let's run. Okay, how do you run this? Okay, for example, this is what we call cells. Okay, this is cells. Okay, this is cells. Okay, so what is good about Jupyter Notebook? You can run by cell. When I run this cell, means that I only run these cells. Okay, some IDE require you to run all. So sebab tu susah mau cari error. Okay, the good about Jupyter Notebook, for example, this is dedicated for me to import the packages. So I just run it. You see the run button here, so I just click run. So just wait for a while until the number appear here. That means that you are successfully execute these cells. Okay, successfully execute these cells. Okay, so katakan I want to import my data set. This is my data set. Okay, so the data set that I have, okay, is saved in CSV file. Okay, and it's in tabular form. And I want to save it dalam data frame. Data frame tu maksudnya dia ada column and row. That's why I use the pandas packages to import that data frame. Okay, to import this data as a data frame. Okay, so when I shift enter, another shortcut is shift enter lah. Okay, shift enter is shortcut for me to run the cell. Okay, so I can check because I save this data dalam variable data. Okay, so I can check the first 5 of the data. The first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows in the data. Okay, so I can view it. So this is actually the data that I save in my CSV file atau Excel file. Okay, so the reason we import pandas because I use this here. Okay, and we can use other function here. This one can be skipped. Here, for example. Okay, so the NumPy is actually, what is NumPy? So let's see. Okay, so it's a fundamental packages for scientific computing. Okay, it's a fundamental packages for scientific computing. So if you assign, for example, if you assign just tapi saya tak boleh kacau adjust ini ini dah default for my training. Okay, so if let's say I assign, maybe I can open a new one. Okay, let me show to you how to open this file. Okay, ini short example je lah ya. Okay, so how do you open? So go to new here. Okay, if you want to open. Okay, don't worry, I have tutorial how to basically use this in my YouTube. Boleh follow and like and whatever you want to do in my YouTube. Okay, so new, click Python. So you create your environment to work with. Ini you punya environment. Okay, this is your environment. Okay, so let's say I want to create I equal to, katakanlah I create a list of number 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, like this. Okay, so then this is what we call a list. So if I check, the properties, what is list? So I use type. So this is a list. Okay, this is a list. But I don't want to use. Okay, if I let's say I want to multiply a matrices. So ini tidak begitu convenient to do that. Okay, it's not really convenient to do the matrices. So let me show with you the next things. Yeah. So the numpy here, you see, you want to calculate certain kind of things, right? Median. Okay, how do you define the median? Okay, median is the center location of this data set. For example, I want to calculate the median of the age. Betul tak? The median of the age here. Okay, the median of the age. Okay, what is the center of the age distribution? Kan? Boleh tak saya gunakan 23 ni? It's not easy, right? That's why we need certain packages that compute that. So here you see the way to compute the median is very easy. Okay, so you just apply numpy. You use the packages numpy and then apply the method ataupun function median. Okay, method of function median. Sekejap ya. For example, oh lama, ini saya kena adjust ni tak apalah. Okay, so even I can just use like this. Median data age.
Sorry to interrupt Dr. Nicholas, but we have a
Yes.
question in the chat box from Abu Bakar.
Oh,
It's about how do we use Google Colab?
Colab. Oh, okay. Can as easy as that. You see, yeah. But later I will respond that. Is it okay? I want to demonstrate something else first. Okay, mana dia tadi? Basic data processing. Okay, so you see by applying the numpy packages. Okay, ini adalah packages numpy tadi. Betul tak? As I mentioned earlier, numpy is for scientific computing, for multi-dimensional array and matrices calculation. Okay, because when the data in this form, it's considered as an array. Okay, they can read this as an array, not as a list. The thing that I made before, ini adalah list, which is not very convenient for a scientific computer. Okay, so you have, in scientific computing, you need this to become a array. Matrices, dua tu. Sebab tu tadi ada the initial discussion, we talk about tensor and the matrix. That's why I mentioned here, the reason we can train the algorithm very fast because everything is solved by matrices. Okay, so you see here, numpy median is the function. Median is the function. And data is the variable. The variable that I save. Okay, tapi saya nak fokus kepada variable age. So, syntax ni kita kena tahulah how to do that. Okay, so dalam kursus saya yang memang technical hands-on, Kita ajarlah yang ni. Okay, for the time, very short time ni saya tak sempat nak demo sangat. I just can show you the power of these packages. Okay. Alright, so what else we can have? Ni saya kena delete ya. Okay. I even can use the seaborne punya plot. Okay, seaborne plotting. Seaborne is a visualization tools. Okay, seaborne is a visualization tools to plot the statistical information. For example, the box plot. What else? The box plot, the correlation, okay, the heat map, yeah, to show the correlation, and even this is distribution plot. For example, I want to see the distribution of the age. So I can see, oh, this is the distribution of the age that I have. So most of the data set here is scattered, it's skewed to the left. That is heavy toward this. Biasalah kereta second hand car, paling banyak di kedai yang paling tua-tua lah baru nak jual second hand kan. Jarang kita dengar orang jual kereta beli setahun jual second hand. Pernah kan? That's why this one is quite relevant lah, data set. Okay, so this example how to use this kind of apa nama ni? Packages. Okay, seaborne. What else do you want to see? For example, I can use seaborne. Yeah, I can combine the method in matplotlib. PLT is a matplotlib. Yeah? Okay, matplotlib, and this is the module, the pyplot, and I assign it as a PLT supaya dia tak panjang. Kalau tak saya kena type ni, panjang kan? So that's why I import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. Okay, can I use other extension? Can. Tapi when you Google online, everyone will use this. So make sure we standardize. Okay, we standardize. You nak tukar boleh, you can change it, but I prefer standardize. Okay, so mana dia tadi? Okay, so I create a figure with the size S times 8 inches. Okay, just a pixel, sorry. Okay, and also I use this sns.heatmap to show the correlation. Sekejap, data numerical is not defined. Okay, I have to define this first. And then baru saya boleh plotkan heat map. Can use that. So from heat map ni, I can see what are the things that affecting the price. Okay, for example, the age is definitely quite high. Okay. Okay, I can see the age can definitely affecting the price. Okay, but in negative way. What does it mean? Negative 0.88. Okay, negative 0.88. Okay, so it's mean that, okay, the negative means that the higher the age, the lower the price. Betul lah kan? The price of the second-hand car will decrease, okay, when the age of the car is increased. Kan? Second-hand car with the age of 10 years is higher than second-hand car with the age of 30 years. That's mean by this. Okay. What else? The kilometers, mileage here. Kan? Tapi kalau kita tengok horsepower and cc, they have a positive correlation with price. Okay, positive correlation. 0.31 indicating that it's when the horsepower is increased, the price is increased. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next packages. A matplotlib I shows to you. Okay, matplotlib is basically to plot the graph like this. You can use that to plot this graph. Okay. This is more interesting. Okay, the machine learning packages. Okay, sklearn and stat models. Okay, I use these two things basically to get into my machine learning works. Okay, and you see here example of my machine learning model. Ini cerita tadi yang the reason I use this, okay, you see, I want to predict the price of the second-hand car. Okay, there are a lot of factors here. Okay, kita ada age, kilometer, fuel type, okay, automatic CC, doors, and weight. Okay, so you see here, okay, you see amongst things here. Okay, when I want to predict the price, should I include all the variables? Agak-agak perlu tak saya masukkan ni jadi sebagai input? Not necessary, right? It's not necessary. Okay. Itu yang tadi saya rasa, I forget the name of the person who asked regarding the number of time required for them to train the algorithm. If you include all the variables, yes, of course, that's gonna take a lot of times, and it require a lot of computational powers, okay, to work with that. But if you really have a powerful computer, even you can subscribe to the cloud services to run your algorithm with a very huge amount of data set. Okay, that's you can just run without do any pre-selection of the pre-selection of these variables. Okay, and even this one, you see there is some data set here, they are not a numeric, so we need to do the transformation over here because they are not number. Okay, so we have to convert it into a numeric form using various of technique. One hot encoding, for example, so that they will appear in a binary form. We call it a dummy variables. Okay, all right. Then that's why the next stage is we do data exploration. So let me show with you the application where the wait, yeah, I'm too fast, sorry. Okay, one thing, you see the SNS plot here, I can use it to detect the outliers. There is a box plot there. So the extreme outliers can be shown, okay, the outliers, the potential outliers. Okay, the price. Ini terlalu mahal lah. Kalau kereta, okay, if you see here, the distribution of the price, okay, range yang biasa kita jual adalah between maybe 7,000 until 12,000. Itu range normal. Tapi bila you jual up to more than 30,000, that is considered too expensive. Okay, when I do the modeling, my model is good to predict the price in between 5,000 until 17,000, for example. If it's over that, my model is not perform good anymore. So these are the things that we need to be careful when we design when we consider the type, the quality of the data that we use to train the algorithm. Okay. All right. So even we can use, let me show with you. Yeah, to understand, because we are dealing with, this is categorical data, correct? We want to know which one affecting, adakah petrol lebih mahal daripada CNG ataupun diesel? Can we conclude based on that? Okay, so if you see here, based on the distribution that we have, okay, based on the distribution that we have, so it can see that the CNG is definitely kind of cheaper. But if you see the distribution, the number of total count, the CNG is less. So I cannot really make a conclusion here to say that petrol is more expensive. So what we do next? Kita boleh gunakan inferential statistic to evaluate that. Okay, menggunakan sebagai contoh the independent t-test ataupun the ANOVA test to evaluate. Okay, ada tak significant difference in terms of price if they use diesel, fuel, petrol or CNG. Okay. Alright, lupa pula tadi. I want to show with you where is the training. Ini train the algorithm. So you see all the top part here. Okay, bila saya train my student, I will show them there are a lot of hard work here, right? Tiba-tiba when it comes to the training, the algorithm, okay, dia dekat sini je. Ini all the data preparation, you see. So the training algorithm will be happen only here. A very small chunk of the code. Okay, maybe you can share your experience for anyone who done the ML. Firdaus, for example, okay, which part that you feel critical when you do the modeling? Is it data preparation, training the algorithm, ataupun evaluating whether your model is good or not? Itu kita panggil sebagai optimization lah. Kalau tak bagus, macam mana nak buat dia bagus? Okay, alright. So by using these packages, you see where is the packages of the stat model? So you see here. In stats model, we have module we call as API. Ini dia punya module. So in this module, I can use method, for example, OLS, ordinary least square, to train the algorithm using the data that I have. Ini adalah data. Macam mana dapat X train and Y train? Ini adalah a lot of processing on top of that. Okay? So you see, it's very easy. Ada tak nampak kita perlu apply nombor dekat kita punya coding? If you do hard code like I do for my undergraduate dulu, I have a lot of equation to be written. And then I have to define the process of differential equation in my coding. Kalau ini tak payah kan? Terus guna method OLS. Ini yang saya nak bagi tahu kat sini. Otherwise, you have to turn it numerically. That's a lot of work there. Okay, and by using this, I can save about 90% of time required to actually train the algorithm. Kalau tak, ini saja sudah, wow, boleh tahan. Ya, okay. Mungkin you guys can try. Ya, finite element for engineering student, for example. Ya, tapi sekarang saya rasa banyak packages lah. Okay, Firdaus kata data preparation. Ya, any others experience? Okay, siapa yang pernah buat data processing, machine learning ke? Okay. Alright, so let me another one that we can show here adalah kalau nak guna contoh ya. Let's say we want to use this. Kalau ini saya gunakan sklearn. Okay, the sklearn packages. Okay, and I have module we call as matrix. Oh, ini untuk sorry. Ini. This one. Sorry. This one. Okay, sklearn because I want to train the linear regression, logistic regression. Logistic is a form of classification model for linear problem. Itu kita guna logistic regression. You see, linear model punya module from sklearn packages. Okay, and I use the method logistic regression to train the algorithm. Okay, so everything is here already. Sebab tu, machine learning is very easy. Actually, it's very easy. Do you need, okay, you see here. Nanti saya akan tunjukkan flow of the ini. Okay, I think I want to show with you. TensorFlow, later I show with this. Ini yang paling interesting. Okay, ini when we go to deep learning. Ada dua packages that always intercorrelated with each other. Okay, sometimes they use TensorFlow and Keras together. Okay, it has to be used together sometimes. Yeah. So how do we define your convolutional layer? Okay, ini kalau kita work with CNN. Okay, dekat sini dia ada banyak parameters dia. These are the body of knowledge that we acquire to know the parameters ni. Okay, these are the things that we have to optimize. Okay, later I show you the code. Yeah. Okay, ini adalah AI programming process for machine learning. Okay, you can snapshot this. Okay, this is based on my. It can be altered. It can be altered. It's not fixed things. Yeah, it can be altered. Okay, it can be altered. Tak semestinya ikut ni. Ini saya summarizekan ikut saya punya panduan. Biasa saya guna ini. First, you have to understand the requirement lah. Contoh dalam you want to design a specific AI model. For example, I want to build a AI model that can trace fraud, that can detect fraud. So the possible output could be fraud and legit, betul tak? Fraud cases or legit cases. That is requirement. Okay, I be assigned to develop a model that can predict whether the things, this behavior of people, is there a fraud cases or the legit cases. Okay, so that is requirement first. The second one, I have to prepare the data. Okay, collect the data, capture the data, extract the data from the database. Okay, the data sources that you have, the data lake. Yeah, prepare. Okay, find is there any missing values there. Okay, and then I do the exploration and feature engineering. So this one is focused on, okay, extracting the information such as which factor. Adakah gender mempengaruhi fraud cases? Of course tidak. Takkan lelaki buat transaction fraud, betul tak? So we can remove that from our variable. Okay. So amount of transaction, that could be a kind of a fraud transaction. Okay. The rate from first and second transaction, that could be. I do first transaction and second. Biasa kalau kita beli barang, beli sekali sudah lah kan. Tiba-tiba satu hari 10 kali transaction, that's quite kind of fraud. Yeah? Okay, so that is the things that we need to do there. But then after you select all the variables that can predict the fraud cases, baru you akan do the train and test set. You split it. We call it a partitioning. Okay, you do partitioning. Okay, and then you use the train set to train your algorithm. For example, I choose a naive Bayes, considering that none of the possible inputs have correlation with others. Atau maksud dia not significant. The correlation, all the inputs, between the inputs, not between the output, between the input, they are not correlated. So we use a naive Bayes. Okay, so I train the algorithm and then I produce a model. Ada model sudah. Y equal to mx plus c, let's say. Okay, so I use the test set to verify the model and then measure. Kena measure. Model saya ni bagus ke tidak. Okay, and evaluate whether do we need the optimization process. Kalau saya tak puas hati dengan dia punya R squared, ataupun kalau dalam classification problem, we measure the accuracy, recall and precision. Maybe we change the precision. I want to focus more to detect fraud. Maksudnya kalau saya increase the threshold, if the fraud is detected at 0.4, dah kira fraud, I want that to be that level. So kita kena decide here. Okay, we have to decide here. If not, what things that we can do? So you need to adjust the parameters. Okay. Ini bila you go to the AI process of using deep learning. This is a simple type of artificial neural networks. Okay, where for example, okay, we use the CNN. Okay, so you have the numbers here. Okay, so the process, how they can, at the end of the day, we can categorize this as a number 8. Okay, so we introduce a few hidden layers. Do you think having more hidden layers can improve your model? Not necessary. Okay, increasing the hidden layer will increase your complexity of the model, and it doesn't mean you can get a good model. Okay, sometimes the things happen because of the selection of the factors. Okay, kalau ini dia bukan berkaitan factors lah, dia berkaitan dengan nombor. Sama ada banyak, cukup tak kita punya training data. Itu benda yang mempengaruhi kita punya model. Okay, so there are lots of things that you can see. Then I show to you some of the, ini contoh regression. Regression. Okay, you see here, the process is same. You have to prepare the data. You have to understand what you need. Okay, what do you need? Contoh, these are all the data preparation steps. Okay, and even kalau kita tengok dekat logistic regression ni, okay, for example in logistic regression, Okay, so these are all the preparation process. You overview the data, you explore the data, ada tak missing values? Yeah, how many unique values in geography, for example? Okay, you can view that. Okay, there is specific code. Kalau ada missing values tak dalam saya punya data set. So there is specific code here. isnull.sum. Ini adalah pandas punya packages. Kenapa tak nampak PD? Because you already initiate the data set here as a PD here. Nampak tak? Maksudnya you dah apply the pandas into the data set. That's why sometimes when you use this PD, dia tak appear pun dekat sini. Because you dah impute, you dah apply that pandas into that particular variable. Okay, you want to understand, because if let's say I want to create a model to predict whether the customer will churn or stay in my services, in my bank punya service. Okay, so macam mana? Yeah, gambar-gambar. Okay, so I want to see the balance of the program, the balance of my possible output. So ini penting to determine the balance set. Okay, all right, so you see feature scaling, yeah, to make sure the input all standardized. Okay, so here is partitioning the data set. You see it complies with this method, partitioning, and then I train the algorithm, yeah, using a linear model, logistic regression model. Yeah, okay, I use a logistic regression model to train the algorithm. Okay, and then what else I use? Okay, I do the model evaluation. Okay, after I get the model, so this is the part where I get the model already. Okay, so the model name as a class model. This is my model. So whenever I apply the model, I use the class model here. Okay, when I want to check the performance of the model, so I can apply, okay, here I use the result, I use the confusion matrix to see. Ini adalah model evaluation. Okay, so even I can print the report for them. Okay, so when we want to see a kind of ini contoh menggunakan this example of using the deep learning deep learning. Okay, so you see this is the important part I want to share. The process is still same, but I want to share with you where is the part that I need transplants creating the model. Okay, so Keras, yeah, you see this is a Keras packages. Inside here I have the module we call as a models. Okay, TensorFlow and Keras, they compliance together. Okay, actually sebelum ni dia sendiri-sendiri, tapi the developer have make them compliance together. Okay, so that's the powerful of this. So even we can introduce the ni adalah hidden layer. Okay, hidden layer. Nampak tak tadi when I use this? Sekejap ya. Ini adalah hidden layers ni. So berapa hidden layer kita nak? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ini 3. Ini adalah input layers. First is start with input layers. Sorry ya. Okay, lepas tu dia hidden, and then output layers. Okay, so output layer times 1. Kenapa dia kena 1? Sebab kita hanya satu output je. Kalau nombor 8 lah. Tak perlu nombor 9 sekali. Like that. Okay, but of course, if your model predict this is a number, dia ada probability dia. Not 100%, it's a 8. So dia ada rank dia. They will rank it. Nombor 8 mungkin 90%. Mungkin ini nombor kosong. Tapi very small probability lah. Kalau dia kosong, maybe 0%. 1.2%, something like that. So, you make a decision based on the higher probability. That's why statistik itu penting in machine learning, in artificial intelligence. Okay, right? So you see, when you get into deep learning, the way you evaluate the model, you can observe the trend of your loss when you train the algorithm. Okay, you train the algorithm until it has a minimal loss. Okay, you want to measure the loss because of the trend set and also the test set. Make sure make sure both of trend and test set move at the same direction. Otherwise, itu yang kita panggil overfitting ataupun underfitting. We are not allowed to have overfitting. Overfitting means that you want to plot every point. Maksudnya, dia akan plot sangat tepat. Tapi bila nak buat prediction, okay, dia miss the trend. Something like that. Okay. Alright, next thing that I want to share is you also can use time series in your analysis. Ini contoh time series. Okay. Time series analysis to forecast stock market price. Okay, to forecast stock market price. So time series require a different body of knowledge. Dia memang lain sikit because it's time series. You predict next based on the past. Biasa kita when we do machine learning, biasa we predict the value based on other variables. But in time series we predict next the value based on what happened previously. So these are different kind of body of knowledge. Okay, so a time series, AI in time series basically they use for forecasting the stock market. So there are a lot of auto regression model, ARIMA model, yeah, moving average model. Okay, so that's different kind of thing. So before you get into that, you have to understand the very simple process. Okay, ini contoh yang saya gunakan dalam saya punya research. We detect the leakage. How do we detect the leakage in concrete? Okay, my research basically focus on, first I do the leakage solution previously. Then when we design the, the hardware, we have a challenge, of course, when we come to the design process. And then we have another idea how to detect the leakage using AI. Biasa detect leakage guna tools dengar bunyi, tapi bila dalam konkret, ya, air bila kita mandi, when it meresap masuk ke dalam konkret, macam mana mau dengar? Tak boleh dengar. Air itu air menitis dari ini, itu we can heard that. But we cannot heard when the water penetrate at a very slow rate into our concrete. But what we can observe is the temperature and also the humidity. So I have a student that able to come out with a model, the undergraduate students. Yeah, so we apply a few pooling layer and hidden layer. We use the CNN. Okay, and at the end of the day, dia ada satu output, sama ada leak ataupun not leak. 0 is leak, 1 is not. 0 is no leak, 1 is leak. Sorry for these slides. Okay, so these are the process. Macam mana kita tengok? Kita akan tengok kedua-dua. We see two, either loss and also both accuracy. So when we increase the number of iteration, this is a number of iteration. Okay, so we found that we can have, okay, at the iteration 5 baru kita dapat the maximal accuracy for our model. Okay, now of course we train a lot of images. I think more than 100 images. Okay, and we try to balance because the most image that we have is not leakage. Bukan yang leakage. So there we have a problem. Okay, imbalanced data set. So a lot of strategy that we apply to solve for that. Okay, all right. So this is the model. How do we how it's run? Okay, how we try to run. Okay, so how do you get started? So to predict crop yield, time series crop yield. Okay, thanks Nusat for your question. So I would like to know, crop yield is, if it is based on seasonal, for example, okay, maybe in our country we have to basically hujan dan panas lah, betul tak? Betul tak, ya? So I can see the factors that affecting the crop yield could be weather. But this kind of weather, when we plot the trend of yield, okay, we can see a seasonal effect then. Okay, so I can say that it depends. Saya pun tak, saya kena tengok data set. Okay, if it's seasonal effects, yes, I can predict its space using a time series. But if there might be other factors that might affect, okay, kalau dia factor lain, contoh quality of the seeds maybe, okay, what else? Number of rain, yeah, I'm not really sure, but if there is other factor, it's under regression model. So kita kena tahu dua ni. Okay, first understand if your time series, if your data to, if you plot based on time, for example, the year versus time, ada tak trend that being shown? Sama ada seasonal, okay, and you need to know whether it's stationary data or not stationary data. Okay, because we have to make the data stationary after that. Okay, itu. So I cannot, it's depend on your data set. Okay, I cannot guarantee whether time series stable or regression. If you predict the yield based on other factors, it's a regression model. If you predict the crop yield based on, contoh tahun ni bulan 1 banyak, tahun depan agak-agak bulan 1 banyak tak? Mungkin banyak. That is what we call a seasonal effect. That is under a time series analysis. That's the thing that I can see. Okay. I mean, my target variable no visible increasing, so I prefer regression. Yes, but in regression, you have to need to know the apa nama ni? Need to know the other inputs lah, because the input will be the variables. Okay. Actually, time series, when you do this, you want to predict the values, right? Because the value is number. Actually, it's sebab tu dia panggil auto regression. The derivation is actually from linear regression. Okay, so the model used is auto regression, but the concept is different. Kalau auto regression model, you use the past value to predict future. If regression model, you use other variable to predict the value. Okay, all right. So how do you get start in AI? Kalau you dah ada programming skill, terus start machine learning lah. Okay, okay, you can start terus machine learning. Okay. All right, so can we get this slide? I'm sorry, the slide is proprietary materials. Okay, it's under my copyright, my company copyright. I couldn't share it to participants. Okay, unless for the courses that you attend with me lah directly. That's different things. But for this one, it's proprietary. I'm sorry, because we don't have rights for me to share with the organizer. Yeah, unless the event is organized. Okay, so no worry. The organizer, I think, can share the videos with the participant. Correct? Correct me if I know, MC. Can you clarify that? Yeah.
Doctor, the recording session will be given to the participants in the WhatsApp group later.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, as long as they get, I think the important is the videos, yeah, because the slide, I share everything in the slide here. Okay, all right. So you see, first, if you are totally newbie, learn Python dulu. Okay, learn Python dulu. Okay, focus on data processing. Okay, because if you go for website development, lain dia punya benda yang you belajar tu lain. Yeah, dalam data processing is different. Yeah. Second, you go to machine learning, baru you learn machine learning. So here you understand the very basic concept, okay, of linear regression, of logistic regression, up to clustering model. Okay, and then baru you can go to deep learning. You apply the knowledge for deep learning. So once you complete these three, then you can go NLP, you can go node recommendation system, and even you can go to the time series. But even the time series you can learn after you learn machine learning. Okay, you can learn time series and predictive maintenance after you learn machine learning. Not necessarily after deep learning. Kalau dua ni kena ada deep learning dulu lah. Baru senang sikit. Okay, direct pun boleh. Actually deep learning, it can be a separate things. Okay. Alright. Okay tak program, you guys. What do you think? Do you think you need a solution for a non-programmer? I still want to do the data, but I don't want to do the program. What do you think? Maybe you can chat that. You think, wah, tengok program tadi memang ni lah. Because what I want to be clear with you, okay, sometimes people do program, okay, kadang-kadang dia banyak spend time untuk programming, okay. But how about if you learn to process the data, AI data, and for machine learning using non-programming tools? Means that you don't have to code, okay. You just drag and drop. Okay, we call this as a visual programming. Okay, because you feel susahnya nak ni. For the student, for example, you want to analyze your data. What tools that I can use instead of programming? So one of the solution is visual programming. So what are the best tools that you can use for visual programming? There are a lot. Okay, but one of the very powerful, free. Paling penting ya, dengar perkataan ni. The more important thing is free, no need to pay. Okay, when you select tools, cari benda yang no need to pay. Jangan cari benda yang you kena pay and then you go to the website to download crack. No, itu yang menyebabkan komputer under virus. That's why your computer been hacked, been get virus because of this crack. Okay, and it's not proper lah. Okay, actually, for example, you do the data analytic work, you get money, but you use a cracked version of software. That's not really appropriate. Okay, but the good things is, okay, there is a one very good, best, powerful, advanced, free, even open source. We call it a NIME analytic platform. Okay, this is dedicated for data science, AI, and data analytics. Okay, so you see, ada tak nampak coding kat sini? But if you still want to code, ada dedicated node that you can code that. Okay, there is a dedicated node there. Okay, so it's a codeless approach. Okay, contoh ini adalah knife Bayes model. So choose whether you want to use this Python or you want to use visual programming. You can decide. Kedua-duanya ada advantage. Okay, but if you have a talent to learn programming, go for programming. Because it's easy to customize. Itu kelebihan programming lah yang macam sebelah kiri ni. Easy to customize. This one, the node already been fixed like this, so you can adjust the picture. Tapi most of the thing I can do also in NIME. You have to understand the logic and the algorithm behind the code. Okay, so this is the best thing about the NIME. Okay, for data manipulation, for visualize and modeling, deployment, and even you can leverage this into a business value. Okay, so one of the company right now use NIME is TNB, and I'm the main principal coaching for their team. Okay, we develop their talent to use NIME. Yeah, TNB, if you is someone from electrical here, okay, you can learn and maybe you can pitch if you want to work. Okay, then maybe. Okay, so I think that's it. Okay, do you think you have any question? Okay, what do you think about field? Okay, what do you think about Firdaus? Oh, I remember Firdaus. I think my friends joined the course before, right? Correct me, Firdaus Rosnam. I have two Firdaus here.
Yes, brother.
Okay, so what do you think about ML, algorithm, DL in terms of performance evaluation? Okay, in terms of performance evaluation, current business real-time problem, still reliable with traditional real-time problem, AI application. Yes, correct. Mr. Firdaus, yes, it's still reliable to use the ML algorithm. It depends on your data set. What I can suggest for you to make decision whether ini satu cara, this is one of the way for me to make a decision whether I use deep learning or ML. Okay, if let's say I have a data set with 1, 2, 3, 10 columns, 10 columns saja, 10 variables, you just use machine learning, a normal machine learning approach. But if you have more than 20 column, You have that's considered huge data already. Okay, and also you want to process in real time, for example, in this case. So you better go to deep learning. That's my suggestion. Because why? Because if you have more than 20 columns, okay, actually, I'm not sure. Maybe during the selection process, there are some sort of, how do you say, when we do the correlation testing, everything, it seems like, okay, the output is related with the input. But when I do the modeling, okay, the result shows different kind of things. So the reason I use DL adalah untuk saya tengok loss and accuracy. Itu benda dia. Yes, one of the things that can affect is multicollinearity lah. Yang itu yang kita kena be careful, especially when we use algorithm, for example, naive Bayes, which is very strict. Okay, to make sure that there is no correlation, there is no significant correlation between inputs, which is sometimes almost impossible to be achieved. Okay. Alright, so any coming courses 9 with Netsoft? Untuk 9 kita belum ni lagi, tapi nanti saya akan bagi tahu a few course that we offer nanti ya. You said Python web development is different than Python for ML. That means hard for Python developer to transform to not. Okay, who is this? Nasir, right? Okay. So what you say here, because Python web development, the syntax, the keyword that you learn, the packages that you learn is definitely different. Okay, that's definitely different. Okay, packages, it's not related. Okay, but the syntax, you import the packages and everything, yeah. How to use the command, okay, how do you understand the keywords variables, that is almost similar. But in order to use the transform to develop AI and ML, it's not difficult, believe me. But what is difficult is not the programming, it's understanding the algorithm, the concept, the theory, and how to tweak, how to how to assign appropriate values to the parameters. Okay, for example, how much the pool members that you need in your deep learning. Okay, that's the most important. Yeah. Is there any upcoming source? Okay, later I share with you, Yening. Okay, so yeah, saya boleh share lah. Okay, ini adalah upcoming course 6 and 7 March. Okay, so I have that in my website. Wait, yeah. Okay, I have that in my website, so you can copy and paste in my chat box. Yeah. So this one, the next upcoming course that I have on 6 and 7 March. I open this registration until tomorrow lah. Okay, because after tomorrow I want to send all the information. This one will cover a very basic topic. Okay, cover a basic topic. Okay, for data analytics. Okay, we are not touching on machine learning because machine learning is different course. But for this one is fundamental of Python. Okay, so believe me, it's very interesting. You can check my review in my Facebook. Okay, later I share with you guys. Okay, so if you want to join, just go there and later you can join us. Okay, all right. I think it's written in Malaysian. Is that English version? Okay, sorry for this one. Most of the, I think the language that I use to teach this is basically I use mixed language. So maybe 100% in English in the future. Okay, is it okay, Al-Nasir? In the future, when the material, everything is actually in English, but most of the participants sometimes request me to use 20% in Bahasa Melayu, 80% in English. So 80% will be in English and 20% in Bahasa Malaysia. Okay. All right. So what? Okay. This is upcoming course lah that we have in this year. Okay. So we start this on this month. Okay. This month we already start on fundamental, the new version. Okay. So the next is, there are a lot. Okay. You can find in my Facebook lah. Okay. So And someone that if you want to purchase for the machine learning books, so it's available here also. Okay, you can go to my link that I provide there. Okay, and also this is our mission lah. Okay, anyone who want to join us, please. Okay, for someone that have patience in data. Okay, either you want to use join us in our education or in our data analytics team. Okay, so we creating impact through our evaluation, through our data analytics works, and we also nurturing talent to grow the data experts. Okay, not to promise you become a data scientist, but to give you the real things about data science. Okay, sometimes people say to you, oh, join this course to become a data scientist, you get 10,000 per month. It's very, I don't sell that. Okay, what I sell you is knowledge, what you require. Okay, because it will be added value in your career path. You have to understand how to work with data. So these are the things that are needed, yeah, nowadays. Okay, so if you want to connect with me, so you can connect with me via my LinkedIn, okay, Facebook, yeah, add me in my Facebook. Okay, I have my Facebook, apa nama ni? Facebook page. You can add me there. You can follow me there. Okay, so if you want to contact me, how to contact me? Yeah, let me share with you. Okay, I can give you my name lah. My email, yeah. I can give you my email, eh. So this is my email. Email. Okay, wait, yeah. Okay, so actually, if you go to my Facebook, you can get my phone number already lah. Okay, you follow my Facebook, you can get my phone number. Yeah, I don't share it here, but follow my Facebook, you can get my phone number. Okay, all right. Okay, so I think that's all from me. Is there any question? Yeah, I hope everyone's okay. Okay, so see, is there any opportunity for us to communicate? Yeah, thank you everyone in the class. Yeah, I really appreciate, yeah, your engagement. Okay, my friends, the students, yeah, the event, okay, the host of the event. Okay, thank you very much for organizing this. Okay, I hope there will be more, okay, be more apa nama ni program I can share, maybe time series in the future. Okay, deep learning. Okay, we can share this one. Okay, so thank you very much, yeah, everyone, and I wish you guys, and I pass to the MC today. Okay, anything you can communicate with me through my LinkedIn, Facebook, yeah, you can search me there. Okay, maybe the community can share my details later in their WhatsApp group. I believe you guys have got WhatsApp group, right? Okay. All right. So thank you very much, everyone, and have a good day. And I pass this time to MC. Yeah. So MC is Najiha, right? So thank you. Have a good day, everyone. Okay. Yeah. Bye bye.
Thank you, Dr. Nicholas, for a very informative and meaningful sharing just now. I can say for all participants that the session was very helpful and we have learned a lot about artificial intelligence using Python. Before we end our event, I would like to request for all the participants and committees to turn on your camera for our photography session. You are welcome to use our WebEx background as given in the WhatsApp group. At 4:40, we will screenshot. Ika, if you're ready, you can start counting.
Okay, everyone. Smile. Take picture. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, next page. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, last page. Okay, okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
All right. And with that, we have come to the end of our event. Once again, I would like to thank Dr. Nicholas and to all participants for taking your precious time to join our event today. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to apologize for any inconvenience that occurs throughout the event. Dear participants, don't forget to scan the QR code as shown on the screen later, or you can just click in the link provided in the chat box, especially for UTM and UTHM students. The form is for your merit. I am Najiha, signing out. Thank you and Assalamualaikum and stay safe.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Doctor.